See here.
Nobody wants to show up.
Yeah, it's just the two of us, Scotty. No problem. All right, welcome everybody. April 12th, Tuesday, 1 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Cool. So Scott, let's take a look. See here, we got them in the chat. Let's see what we got.
Now, the 300 Edna Street. That's going to be 300 and 301. It's two properties.
Okay. 300 and 301. Okay.
One of them is a 3-1, the other is a 2-1.
Are they attached or detached?
They're detached. They're across the street from each other.
Oh, okay, I didn't know. I got you.
Two separate houses.
So we got 3-1 for 300 Edna. And let me see here.
Now, just so you know, I've talked with this gentleman. He gave me his price. He wanted to sell them for. Didn't figure I could really move them, so I went back at him with possibly some owner financing.
Okay.
He dropped his price, so I'm back at trying to figure out if I can maybe wholesale these at the price I want them now, or really don't. He will consider terms, but he's trying to get out of the business.
Trying to get out of the business, huh? Well, he don't know what he's doing. Okay. So, let me see. So have you done ARV? I mean, you know what you think they're worth?
No, not really.
Okay.
They're probably worth. I mean, I haven't really looked.
Yeah, it looks like
it's kind of hard to do. I mean, that area is kind of hard to ARV, but if I wanted to shoot for the stars, I would say probably 50 grand. I mean, it's not a real popular area, but it's definitely a good area.
Yeah, I'm looking at it, right? And I don't yeah. So what
So
is he own these free and clear?
Yes. When he had these rented, he had the 301 property, which was a 2-1, rented for $400 a month. And then the 3-1 he had rented for $650 a month. At the time he had it rented. And he had that one rented, that 300, he had it rented for 15 years.
Okay.
But now they're both vacant. Of course, he says they just need paint and caulking, but the roof on both properties are about 2 to 3 years old. So I'm just looking at it that, you depending on who wanted it, whether they wanted to rehab and sell on the market, I think this would be more of a rental type deal.
Okay.
But I got them to drop the price at
So where's he at now for both of them?
50 for both of them.
Interesting. Yeah, there's not a lot of rental information on Rentometer for the area, so and there's not a lot of sales in the area either. So you're right; it's definitely not.
Yeah, it's kind of my product. You just get some second eyeballs on it. That's to make sure if I have missed something, I need to find it. If I haven't, then give them my work right.
For sure. Whew. So he owns them free clear. Wants 45. All right. Yeah, because there's just not a whole lot of everything around here that's sold. Even in the 30,000, 20,000. Let's see, this one sold 3.2, 1,400 square feet. Good bit bigger than yours. Sold for 20,000.
Yeah, like I said, it's not.
That's a modular though. It looks like.
Not easy on the eyes, but
yeah.
If if I just knew,
So do you, let me see. Not even, now you can't even get a Google Street View of it, huh? I mean, is this?
oh, it's like you can't even get there. I tried.
Yeah. Just like, what does it look
I
like?
got as close as I could and sucked it up close as I could, but I couldn't see it.
Yeah, let me see. So 300.
Yeah, it's a decent neighborhood though. It's not a bad neighborhood. I used to live over that way.
Let's see here. Yeah, like won't even go down that street. It's weird. I'm just curious what it looks like, you know.
Yeah, me too.
How far away do you live from this one?
Probably about an hour or so.
So when you pitched some terms, you know, what did he, and say, hey, some now, some later, what did he say? I mean,
I just kind of told him, I can't get the price you're looking for right now. So I wanted to just ask you if you would entertain, doing something on terms, on finance. And he's like, I don't have the rental business. Or I said, no, I'm asking you if you'll be the bank, basically.
yeah.
He said, well, I might entertain something like that, but I really won't mind the business. But I'll tell you what, I'll do 50 on both of them, which he dropped his price a pretty good bit.
So he doesn't want a creative offer. So I mean,
I don't think he does, but there again, I'm trying to keep him reeled in for the longer he sits and waits.
Yeah.
He's not advertising them for sale that I know of.
Right.
It's a cold call.
That's good. So let's see what.
I just didn't know if it was just. I just don't know if there's a possibility there for sure or not. I know it's not.
Do you know if it's a modular home or if it's stick built? Are you sure that it's an actual stick built home?
Well, I just have to take his word for it. It's just not time.
Yeah.
I'm almost certain that it is.
Okay.
One of them's got a pretty big lot on it. That 300, I think it is.
Okay. Man, my internet is just not going fast enough right now. Well, let's see. So this one that sold like down the street for 45, and it's 10 years older. And to be honest, the inside looks really good. I mean, as far as like a rental,
Yeah,
it doesn't need a lot of work. So, I mean, if all things being equal, if he's saying it doesn't need any work, yeah.
Well, they all work, but he said if you go in there, repaint it, caulk it, I guess caulking windows, whatever it is he's talking about. He said it's rent ready.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's interesting. So let's see.
They'll say buyers are liars, sellers are worse.
That's right. I mean, to be honest, a person that doesn't, I mean, we can try to craft one for him. But he sounds like he's tired of it. So he's not going to want to hold the note for you.
Basically what I told him was, I said, I just want you to be the bank, basically. You don't have to worry about the houses anymore. And if I don't perform, you can take them back. But
right.
You're not have to worry about nothing because I'm just going to have a service company pay you every month.
Right. So 50,000, you said, looks like pretty much about $500 is the average for the both of them, probably between the rents. If you can get him to take like 5%, that might be a stretch. Do 30 years. Let's see if we can get 0 interest. And let's say maybe 5K between the two. Let's see. So let me. Oh yeah, I guess I'm not sharing my screen, am I?
No, I'm still watching the palm trees and the waves.
All right, let's see. Can you see my screen now?
Yeah.
So let's see. All right, target sales price. We're just gonna pretend like it's 2 units. $500 long term. Operating expenses, I don't know, $100 a month. 95% occupancy. That might be a little aggressive. Put in a management fee there for you. Let me see. What else do we need? Where's my? How come it's not giving me a bank payment? Did I break my calculator? That's a bummer. Yeah. Let me see if this one works. 3,000. 2 units. $500. Just keep it all the same there for right now. Well, so 20% down. Basically, if you gave them the bank. Well, we got to put a percent. That's why I wouldn't give me a payment. I forgot. I got to put a percent in there at least. So,
Okay.
So if you rented them between the two, so let's say you gave them 20% down, which honestly, that's a lot. I mean, you'd want to do less if you're trying to wholesale, right? I mean, unless, do you think you'd be open to? I guess so. Like with these, the options could be possibly if you had gave you enough time, you could list it, right? And try to bring a buyer that way. I mean, he probably doesn't want to; he just wants the money. But
Now, if it looks good, what my at this point, what I want to do is try just to wholesale it, get a creative,
yeah,
contract it, and then wholesale it. I mean, I just feel like that it'll do better that way because then we're, it's already structured, it's already ready to go, type of thing.
yeah. Yeah, this one's it's just such a low price point. I mean, the cash on cash return you can see would be freaking great, right? I mean, cash flow would be good. I mean, really just the all-in cash investment, right? Because if it needs 5K, I mean, I don't really know what it needs, right? That's the part that until we walk it, we wouldn't know. But yeah, I mean, ultimately, if he's, but he wants 50. So, for us to think that he's going to take, a down payment and take the rest later when he's really not that interested, he's going to tell you, like, I want at least 50% of it right now, And at that rate, I mean, that's, if you're lucky, he'll say 50%. And then, it's still a good cash on cash, but yeah, I just don't think you're going to find a person that would pick that up, at that, it's going to want to pick that up, right?
Yeah.
Just because the rents are, not that strong. And if, it really just depends, right? Because you got to go back and talk to him and figure out exactly if he's really into it. I mean, for this, like, I know you want me to craft you an offer, but we can put something on paper, but if he's not into it, it's like, well, kind of a waste of time.
Is that monthly rent long term is that calculating 1,000? You got 500 there. So since you got 2 units, is that calculated in 1,000? Yeah, right there.
Yep, it is. So it's saying that you would you would cash flow this, and then this would go. This is the operating.
I know, but the 2 units make that 500 calculated as 1,000, right?
Yeah, average. Right. Yeah. So basically, what? Yeah, I mean, so what I would do with this one is I would try to put it under contract at the 50, and then get the due diligence period,
Yeah.
and then find the buyer. And if they're like not interested, then I would work with the buyer and say, well, what kind of terms would you do? That's how I would do it, because he doesn't want he doesn't want terms. But if he can't get the price he wants, then he either holds them, which he doesn't want to do, or you actually then have the opportunity to craft an offer like this, which would be that would be the time, in my opinion, to do it. I mean, because he's not that interested in it, but I would make sure that he's on board. Say, hey, I'm going to need 30 days and 10-day inspection, and whatever, and then spend that time. We could blast it out for you, or reach out to some of our buyers in Birmingham and see what we could get as far as an offer, and then kind of reverse engineer it. Because if we sit here and just do a bunch of hypotheticals, and then he's like, yo, man, we're not even in the same planet. Yeah, because Birmingham, I mean, if you sell it to an investor, right? That's why I mentioned the on market thing, right? If you try to sell it to an investor, right, they want a wholesale price as well. So if you had the scratch and he was down, and you could give him like a certain amount of dollars down, and then agree on terms, and then once you have the rights to the agreement and they're vacant, then you could list it, and that's how you would squeeze your cheese out of it, from a buyer that's going to be a little bit. They're looking for it on a retail, right? So if you list it at the retail, and you put it at a discount for retail versus at a wholesale discount rate, right? We're talking about completely two different buyers,
Okay.
So that's kind of how I would see, I would say, try to get as long of a due diligence, and then take the interest of the contract. I mean, I would be upfront with them, and say, hey, I mean, we can partner on this. But to be real, I would just say, hey, if he's into it and he wants to go through with it, I would put it under contract and do your due diligence, and then craft all the other options later, because then he can make that decision himself, right? Because it's a lot different when the money's there and you're like, hey, I'm ready to do this. These are kind of more your options, options 1, 2, and 3. But if you just give him the options in the front, he may just drag his feet. But if you try to give him what he wants, I mean, because to me, it looks like if they don't need a lot of work, right? They don't need a lot of work. It looks like 50 is a good deal, for both of them. And I think ultimately you would possibly make the same type of fee, whether you wholesaled it outright for cash, or if you wholesale it on terms. Either way, I don't think you're going to see a big difference in the price in your actual money walking away. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, that's not here or there at this point. The point is how, like you said, maybe better just throw it under contract, give me a bunch of due diligence days, and then just nail y'all up and help me move it.
Yeah, I mean, we can. And then we have a couple different people that might be interested in it. Because sometimes we've done this, we've crafted these and gotten it on terms, and the buyer goes, yeah, I'd rather just buy it outright, that happens. So that's the other reason why I say that.
Yeah, and I didn't think of it that way. I guess I was ending the yard line before I decided to look forward.
Yeah, I mean, and it's okay, because you're just thinking creative.
Learning curve for me.
Yeah, I think it's great. I mean, for that you're digging that hole there, but I think with something like this, because he may not be motivated until he sees like, hey, okay, like someone's here with the money. Here are the different choices that we have, and at that point it's like, hey, I did the best I could, But I would be transparent with him and say, hey, I'm not going to. well, it's up to you, but you may go with the hey, at that price, I wouldn't be your buyer, but um, you know, I have a couple partners that'd be possibly interested in it. I don't know. Maybe you would just look at it as a buyer to start, right? And then, like I said, do the due diligence, and then whatever you come across, because at the end of the day, you don't know. So I would just say, hey, man, I really got to get in there and look at it. And once I do, I'll know exactly. But I wouldn't phrase it like you're trying to bring him down or anything. Just say, hey,
Yeah.
I think it's a good price right now. Let me walk it, and then go from there.
Okay. No problem. You can do that.
All right. And where are we at? And then you got the other one there. Let me see.
Now, me and you've talked about this one before,
Mm-hmm.
but I spoke with him yesterday and asked him, would he entertain creative, some terms, and he was busy at the time, but he said, well, it just depends on your down payment. And I'm like, okay. And I said, well, look here. And I was going to tell him a few things, but he said he was using his GPS. He needed to get off his phone. And so I just figured I would try to see if you and I could figure out something on it. And
well, it looks like a beater.
No, that ain't the house.
Oh no?
No.
Oh. Am I looking at the right one? 1529 Second Ave West, Birmingham.
Yeah, because he has it rented right now.
Oh, okay. Does he own anything?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what it looks like now. I mean, same house, but it's not beat up like that. Now that square footage isn't right. Remember I told you that?
What is it?
We actually found out that it's 749 square feet.
Oof.
It says it in there, it says 1,300, but in public record, and I think prop trim says 749. We've already had somebody go out there and measure it too.
Oh, okay.
It just, the price he was wanting just would not compute, being a 2-1 was 749, but it just wouldn't compute for that price.
So what does he want?
So he wants 50. We got, offered 48, or actually we contracted at 48, don't pull the contract back because it would work. So he already, right now it's rented for $650 a month.
Okay.
So I think the rents are low compared to what they should be.
Okay.
But at any rate, if
650.
he's interested in entertaining the term of the deal, but he said it would depend on the down payment, and that's really all he gave me. So I'm basically probably still maybe putting the cart before the horse, but I'm trying to figure out something to, kind of where I need to be at on the offer.
So it looks like he's got it rented pretty good.
Right.
So
I believe he started at 650.
did you ever ask him what did he do to get it rent ready?
What he did?
Yeah.
No, I didn't. It's been rented for a while, but and I don't have the pictures. I could get the pictures, but from what I was told by the people that went out there and did the inspection on it, it's nice and clean.
Okay.
I mean, you got somebody living in it, so I mean,
yeah.
Yeah, told me it was nice and clean. It's not. I mean, if you want to go in there and rehab it, sell on the market, well, then yeah, you got to do some stuff to it. But
he wants 50, huh? So he wants 50, huh?
Yeah, because the one next to it, if you look right there, right there, the one you saw, right there.
Uh-huh.
That's why he thinks he should get 50 for his. He's stuck on that.
Well, yeah, I mean that thing's not. Thing's pretty. I mean, it's decent, right? But does he have a like a down like a basement that's unfinished or something, or is it a crawl space?
No, I think it's just crawl space.
Because it looks like no, that's never mind. I was gonna say it looks like they're to me that looks like the basement, but no, that's the garage. Okay, all right, good. All right, yeah, it's just got a crawl space on this one. That's interesting. Yeah, I mean, so I guess the way you would. So he put in 13. So he put in 13. Who knows? Maybe he spent 5, 10K. So basically, he's looking to get 25 out of this, right? I mean, that's basically what his equity is. So then I would try to. Yeah, I mean, he just basically wants you to make him an offer, but just like when Scott, whenever Scott's on here, right, he's gonna ask you like, well, you want he wants you to make him an offer, but it's like, well, are you selling it? Like, what are you gonna do in 30, 60 days if you don't get that offer? Oh, I'm just gonna keep running.
No. I just told him. I said, if you still want the 50, I could probably get you to the 50, but I'm gonna have to do it in terms.
Okay.
And I said, I need to know if that's something you'd entertain. He said, well, that depends on the down payment. And I was gonna tell him, by doing this, he saves tax benefit too, but he was like rushing off the phone because he said he was using his GPS.
Right.
So I don't know what kind of down payment he wants. I just wanted to kind of briefly, because you and I already done this one before.
I don't actually.
And you said the cash on it was good.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, I mean, yeah, exactly.
I'm just looking at these down payment kind of things to get into them. If he's looking for a down payment, is there?
So again, there's no magic number, unfortunately. Like again, so like if you were to try to give this to a buyer that's that's looking for a wholesale deal, they're just going to want it as low as possible. I would think you'd be lucky to get, you'd be lucky to get 10 grand that someone willing to pay. So that means you have to offer him less than that so that somebody will cover your fee. Right.
Yeah.
So like basically if he's not willing to take, 5, because he's going to tell you like I paid 13, I want 13 minimum or whatever he's going to say. Plus I put 5K, 7K, 8K, whatever. That's what he's going to ask for the down. And at that point, it's just not going to really work because there's just, if you look at let's see what's for sale. There may not be a lot, but maybe there is. We'll see. It's, because the question is like, well, why wouldn't I just buy one of these and fix it? No junkers for 129, 88 days. Yeah, I mean, it wouldn't work unless he's willing to take a very small down payment. So, I mean, what I would do is just say, I'll give you 5K, and then we wrap the rest of the 45, and we can give it to you in, well, I wouldn't give him a number. I'd say how many, what's the farthest you'd go. But unfortunately, I think once you talk about that down payment being that low, I mean, because if anything, I'd say, hey, yeah, it's just this one's really tough to do because basically 50 is also a risk because you owe him 50 if the bottom falls out, right? And investors are gonna go, well, how do I protect myself if I have to sell it? Now, somebody that's picking something up on terms probably doesn't think like that. They would just think, oh, well, I'll keep it and ride it out. But either way, I mean, you would still want to have a secondary extra, minimum of 2 to 3 exit strategies. And if you buy it at 50, you owe them 50. Well, you don't, now you're banking on appreciation. That's dangerous. So I don't know. That's tough. I don't think this guy's very motivated. I mean, because if he
I don't think he's that motivated. I mean, he's got it rented. He's, you know what I mean? So it's not like he's really hurting, but
yeah.
I'm just engaging a few things and giving a few.
No, I know.
Prepare myself to give a few numbers that way in the future. something happens, I've been in front of them, they're gonna call me. And I understand numbers change, but
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I would just call him, say, hey, I talked to my partners,
yeah,
we're open to the giving you the 50 you want, but obviously we wouldn't be able to come up very much down.
Yeah.
And just, I mean, yeah, be like, we would cover the closing costs and give you 5K. Are you open to that? No.
yeah.
Okay. Be like, well, the only other way that it works if
Well, yeah, it's gonna be. I mean, it's gonna be a quick conversation. It's not like I'm gonna go in there and say,
yeah,
oh, come on, I'm just gonna offer what I can do, and then, if he counters, fine. If it's just not a deal, it's not a deal.
yeah, it's just not a deal. It's tough at these. Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying it's not a deal, but I just, from what you're saying, it sounds like he's not gonna just give it to you for the price you want. He's trying to squeeze every dollar he can out of it, and that's fine. But it's tough. There's just not enough cash flow. I mean,
maybe if he'll give me 0 down, 0%, and I'll just give him 60 grand.
Yeah, it would. I think if you did that and you gave him 60, yeah, because we looked at those numbers. I mean, I think it's worth. Again, it's one of those where I would be transparent with him. Say, hey, I wouldn't be your buyer on this one, but I got some people with some deeper pockets, But then he may be hesitant to put it under contract, Say, well, why would I put it under contract if you don't even know? So,
Well, I just think I can pull something out.
Yeah, at these price points, it's just really tough because like an investor's just not going to want to pay a lot of money for a down because the housing prices are so cheap, and
Well, I'm not. I don't think I need to just find the landlord. I think a landlord's different than an investor.
I agree. That's why just start with the low. So be like, I would probably start 25, $3,000 as a down.
Yeah.
And then work your way up. And I mean, for a landlord though, I mean, all they care about is cash flow. So it really depends. I mean, if he starts to say, well, I need some interest, I need this, then you just got to rerun the numbers. But if he doesn't give you anything to work with, we can't really, I mean, then it's just, again, unfortunately hypothetical, and it's difficult to run hypotheticals, right? It's like, hey, I won't do this. I will do this. And if he doesn't want to give you that information, it's like, hey man, I'm trying to come up with something for you here. And, it sounds like you're just, not that motivated, and that's fine, like, but I don't want to waste your time. This is kind of where I'm at right now. Do you see yourself in this range? No, I don't see myself anywhere near. Okay. Well, I appreciate it. I'll send you over this offer anyway. And if something changes, let me know,
There you
go. Cause like,
well, at least we can get some learning out of this and practice stuff.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, I mean, it's it's easy to kind of craft it when you have an idea of what, I mean, you have the numbers, but it doesn't need any rehab, right? So it's pretty easy to craft. It's really a matter of what's this person really willing to do,
Yeah.
Let me see here. Hey, Dalton.
I see Dalton in there. Has he got anything?
Yeah, Dalton, what you got? Let's see. You there, Dalton?
Yeah, how's it going?
Yeah, it's going good. How you doing?
Oh, great.
Have we looked at this one? Allentown.
No, not yet.
You sure? Okay.
And then it's okay. He says it's a 5-3, but I'm pretty sure it's a 4-3 with a bonus room.
Okay.
So I don't think it's technically a bedroom, but those pictures are pretty close. It's just been wear and tear from there, so
okay.
I can use some updating.
What does this person want?
He was hoping for 70, 75, somewhere in there.
70, 75. Okay. All right. Well, Redfin's not giving you much.
Yeah, Zillow has a little bit more, but it's kind of not a whole lot of flips. I got one that's like just a makeup or a lipstick on a pig type deal for 180.
Yeah.
But I don't think our numbers would work at that point.
What did you see? What they paid for it?
170.
I'm sorry, the buyer, the person.
Oh, I didn't even think about looking at that actually.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to know, right? You don't. Really,
And it was.
Let's see here. And his is it a row, like a row house? Yeah.
Yeah.
Another row house.
Another row house, man. I'm trying to get out of the Philadelphia market, or like the metro. But I don't know where to go yet.
Well,
I'm waiting for this $99 program, man.
It's yeah, we're gonna get you in there.
Yeah, I got my call on Thursday, so I'm super stoked.
Yeah, we probably could speed it up for you. I'll talk to Nate. He's putting up a link for it. We're working on it. But yeah, I mean, we got to get you in some better markets. I was just curious.
I'm excited for it though. It's way cool.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. The idea is that we get you guys in places that you can actually do a deal, you know. And then we actually have some, stuff to look at, right? Less hypothetical. But I mean, obviously, you always bring real stuff, so that's great. Yeah, this. So they're calling this one single family. All right, well, let's put some filters on it, I guess. I mean, yeah, I see. And so you think the pictures are similar?
I have pictures. It's the same. It's just the same as Redfin. It's just wear and tear.
So like they actually
it's pretty outdated.
They actually sent different photos.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. And that panel board or whatever is rough. Oh yeah. 75. I mean, it seems like that could work. I guess honestly, it just
Underwriting there is just a little bit iffy because I couldn't plug anything into the calculator to make myself feel 100% confident.
Yeah. Unfortunately, some of these so this is the one. I'm assuming this is the one you're probably talking about. Pretty similar. I mean, this thing sold for 170. It's pretty much a piece of trash.
Yeah, well, that's what I was talking about. Like, they kind of just looks like they lipsticked it and sent it out.
They did nothing,
I mean,
really.
I think there was one wall that was like messed up, but I guess they probably just cleaned it out and listed it, really.
Yeah, they really did. I mean, yeah, let's see. The question is, was this like just a regular old homeowner that just sold it as is? I mean, to me, it looks like 75 is worth a shot, to be real. I mean, what I would try to do is just say, hey, go back from underwriting and say, hey, we'd really like to be lower, like around 55, 60, or go, start low.
We're at 175.
Oh, you're at 175?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, no. I don't know, man. That's so owner. Let's see. Yeah, that's so these guys bought this one at 170. These are they're holding, right? So I would say whatever still, but they bought this off the MLS. I mean, if they bought this, right? I mean, obviously it's a few blocks away, and that could be like significantly different. But I mean, this thing's trash. It needs a full gut job, and they bought it at 175. So I mean, do you think they would allow you to like how long before they want to move?
I mean, so his wife's in the hospital, so he's kind of ASAP, but we could probably get 45 days. Because he doesn't really know the process, so he's really leaning on me.
So yeah, I mean, to be real, I would say, hey man, like try to get him under contract for as low as you can, and then try to take the listing agreement, or I'm sorry, the contract, and then try to just list it, because that's how you're going to get the 175, right? I mean,
maybe hit up these guys, Elito Holdings.
Yeah, I would see if there was an agent involved. Try to reach out to the agent, see what's going on, who these guys are, and do it that way. And then if you can't find a bear, then yeah, I mean, but I would say try to list it because that's and I would try to get him down and just say, hey, I'll give you the
What's
one.
that?
As I would try to list, I would try to get Does your contract allow for you to list on the MLS?
It says marketing, so I would assume so.
Okay.
Because you don't have to specify MLS, correct?
No, not particularly. No. So I would because it doesn't make any sense at 175. I don't think you're gonna get a whole. Like, it's definitely not wholesaling, right? Like you'd have to get it at 75, 8, right? Which I thought that's what you said. But yeah, 175 is pretty much out of the question. I think if you just get him to 203, it says it thinks it's worth. Yeah, I mean, I would just try to say, hey, like, but I would get him lower. Yeah, I mean, in this case, I would say like, I gotta be around 130, 135, and then just go up from there. Put it under contract, and then I mean, because these other ones, let's see what this one looked like. 150. So then you see some of these like this, and it's like, okay, well, I don't know, it's really this is why this is why it's so hard in these areas with these row homes. There's just like seems like there's no rhyme or reason for some of these, So I don't know if he's not willing to help, let you list it or give you enough time to where you can. Yeah, he's out of his mind. I mean, because honestly, like you need this thing for like under 100, for a wholesale, right? So his only shot to get that is to list it, and so I would just tie it up and list it.
So what's the process with that then? Like I would tie it up to I don't know. Let's say we can get it for 150, and then we list it for I get a realtor to list it for 170. Is that I just go through the realtor at that point, or
yeah, list it for one. I mean, I would talk to a realtor about it, get a CMA on it. That's what I would do right now. Is I would reach out to brokers and say, hey, what do you think this could move for? I would reach out to that one at 170, figure out if there was an agent involved with that one. I think there was. Let's see. And oops. So this one was listed. Okay. Bought with Realty One Group, Jermaine. Call Jermaine, figure out what happened with that one, and figure out why that sold for that, and if those people are buying more, and tell him, hey, I got one I'm working on. I think I'm interested in purchasing it and fixing and flipping it. He's like, but I might consider listing it. Either way, I'm looking for, what are your thoughts, basically? But I don't know, because these are brick. These row homes are brick. What are these other ones?
yeah?
So his
It's
is not
like shiplap.
Yeah, so his is shiplap. So
Or yeah,
not shiplap, but hardy board, whatever.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's obviously maybe that's why, because people just freaking love brick up there,
Yeah, they do.
It's worth that much more. So yeah, this guy's he's definitely out of his mind. If you could, to me, it's like if you couldn't get this for like, I mean, at the end of the day, it's like if you go the route and you list it, and this guy really needs to sell it, I mean, that's going to be the best way for you to bring a buyer. I mean, because you're not going to be able to wholesale. You're just not going to be able to wholesale that like anywhere near that price point. So I would go that route. I'd be transparent with the guy to some extent, let him know and be like, hey, look, that's not, I can't be the buyer there, but yeah, why don't you just let me list it for you and just go from there. Or you don't have to tell him.
Okay. And did you say that was Jermaine with Realty One?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll try to reach out to him then.
Yeah, just Google that, or if not, reach out to the Realty One Group Supreme, and they'll probably transfer you to him. Yeah, just try to pick his brain, figure out why, what's special about this one, if this is like close enough, or is there a big difference between this block and the next block? Say, hey, I'm new to the area, I'm interested in this one. I think I can get this guy at a certain price. I'm too high right now, but I'm wondering if I can get him to list it. What what we could get, right? And if he's like, yeah, I think I can get 150, then I would say, hey, I need a really like conservative number to work with, so that you can go back and make that happen, right? Because then you got to back out his fee too. Like, well, can you list? Well, what kind of percent would you do? Would you do it for a flat fee, whatever? But if he has a buyer that's interested, then that's why I would reach out to some brokers, because most of those guys are going to have buyers.
Okay, I can do that. I gotta hop off, but thanks for your advice.
Yep, you got it. All right, guys, we got to split. Scotty, see you.
All right, brother. Talk to you later. Appreciate your help.
Yes, sir. See you.
All right.